on, everybody? This is Mike Jones or Phil Jones, however you know me personally or professionally. And this is the most exciting podcast that you have yet to realize there was most exciting podcasters in the world. I am your host, Phil Jones, Mike Jones, however you know me personally, professionally, and y'all know him.
Man, that was dry.
You said what?
That was dry. That was whack, man.
Come on, man. I was going somewhere. You gotta roll with the punches.
Okay, I gotta find out.
Yeah.
I
Are
don't want to
you
f around, but I guess I gotta find out.
because you know the more you F around, the more you're gonna find out.
Okay,
All right, so introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world? It's Midas. Make sure you put a king in front of that. Let's get it.
All right, so welcome to whatever number extraordinary man episode that this is. I know a lot of you guys.
21. Technically, it's 21, 22. No, 21.
It's somewhere up in them 20s. But today, we know y'all could be anywhere else, doing anything else. But for the fact that y'all took time to come and spend this with us, we are humbly grateful for all the time that you give us for y'all eyes. With this special Valentine's Day edition, we want to go ahead and pinpoint a couple of things that we know that we love, and that's money.
I'm with that.
Listen, guys, we know, like most things in this world, we have people that we value, people that we love, our moms, our sisters, our significant others, whomever. And Valentine's Day is one of those days to where it is socially acceptable to show the world your undying love for these people. Let me tell you guys something, and this is just an extraordinary man thought, but I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. You cannot relegate my love for anybody in a day. There's no amount of gifts, chocolate, there's no amount of anything that you can do on February 14th that's going to make any difference to how it is that I feel about the people that I love. Same thing for December 25th, same thing for a birthday, same thing for any other day of the year. They are just days. When you truly care about people and you're truly invested into them, you're constantly thinking about what's going to enrich their life and make their lives better every day. I'm not going to tell anybody that they shouldn't or that it's not okay to delve into these days for people that you care about, but every day should be Valentine's Day, in my opinion. Every day is a day that you can renew your love, not just your anniversary, not just Valentine's, not just any of these other holidays that make you feel obligated to go outside and go spend some money. What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
I mean, that's just what it is. Everything is a market employee. It's a marketing scheme. It's a way of extracting resources from you. If you pay attention, Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving, they got all the hottest deals, and that's normally when all the companies usually transition from operating all year in the red to now operating in the black. I mean, every day it's a sale every day, and then holidays. I mean, honestly, I feel were just invented just for the purpose of extracting resources from you to get sales.
And with that being said, it's like I don't want to come off as the guy that's making it seem like I or we think that we're above this day. Like this day is insignificant for the people who actively celebrate it. You see, I believe that when you care about people, you meet them in the middle. So if this means something to you, I can meet you halfway and partake and participate in it to a certain degree. But I don't want to be out here doing the mad dash. I don't want to be out here running around trying to sit in overcrowded restaurants and like literally stressing myself out to try to get hold to this, and this because now I'm operating out of a scarcity mindset to overpay for marked up items that are just given the extent of showing you, oh well, look what I did for you by this day. And I mean, we've seen it on sitcoms, we've seen it on everything to where it's just like the mentality of scarcity when, oh, I forgot Valentine's Day was today. So, oh, I forgot to make reservations. I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. And it's not necessary when you truly have love in your heart for people. It's just a day. It just literally, I think that a lot of it boils down to the amount of marketing that goes into trying to convince people that they need to be out here, for lack of better terminology, trying to keep over the Joneses.
Pretty much. I mean, that's kind of pretty much it in a nutshell right there, where they come up with all these ingenious ways, ingenious methods, and they target a specific gender of the species because they spend the most, they consume the most. So all of the targeting is manufactured for them to get us, you know what I'm saying, to then come back to us to get us to crack open that wallet.
And one thing that I try to tell people is that I believe that to a certain degree is not really about the person, moreover than it's about keeping up appearances. It's about the Facebook post. It's about the little momentary endorphin hit that somebody gets to show we got engaged on Valentine's Day. He proposed to me on Valentine's Day out in the street while I was wearing this really nice dress. And it's like it's literally about the moment more so than it's about the person.
I'm
Because
sorry, that's corny.
what?
Proposing on Valentine's Day, I'm sorry, that's corny.
Nah, I
That's
mean,
corny.
listen, whatever people are into,
I don't care
they're
how you do it. I don't care what you into. I don't care how you do it. That's corny.
oh, Rudy, come on, man. don't be a hater, don't be a hater all your life, man. Don't be a hater don't be a hater all your life, man. No, but seriously, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, we wanna we wanna start looking at things and really understanding what they are and how do they impact us. You know, I think that one of the significant things when you take away the superficiality of the day, right? That for a woman, and this is just based off, a little market research I did before the episode, that sometimes women want to see the level of thought, the level of ingenuity, the level of preparation that you put into it. And that's the gesture that shows how important she is because you knew that it was coming and you put this much level of thought into doing something for her and that marked something significant for her. Now,
Okay, so let me ask you this:
oh, ask away.
do you think that that's on the reverse side? You think that's on the B side?
No, of course not, because of the fact that our roles are not the same.
I know our roles ain't the same, but what about how much emphasis and how much thought that goes into you thinking about us? Is that even a thing?
See, and the answer that I'm finna give you further validates the reason why I'll speak against superficiality of holidays.
Hmm.
A quality woman is focused on her family 365 days a year. She going to the store. She thinking about the brand of cereal that she bringing, the quality of the product that she bringing in. She thinking about the meal that she's going to prepare. If that's her role or that's what it is that she's doing. People who are constantly thinking about you, they're not thinking about making you a very special meatloaf today. They're thinking about it's Tuesday. They're thinking about what I'm cooking. They're already geared in the mind of the preparation on what they intend on doing and why they intend on doing it. It has very little to anything to do with, what can I say? Well, I'll push this along because I don't want to just keep going on down the same rabbit hole. But
I mean, but I like what you're saying though, because like I personally appreciate that more uh, versus you buying me something or you getting me something solely because today is the day. When I think the gesture sticks more, it means more when it's just a Wednesday,
well, I think
just
that too. You have to
just
take
a
it.
regular Thursday, just because.
I think that the equivalent is the mental equivalent of a situation like that is the obligation of you should be feel obligated to give me sex because it's my birthday, because it's this very special day that you should feel optimally like you have to do it, especially today.
Hey, I ain't gonna act like I don't like that obligation.
It ain't
Just
about that.
say
It's not
just
about that.
say
It's not about that. It's not about that more so than it's about the fact that the gesture itself.
I know. I get what you're saying. I know.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it, it is kind of daunting to think that there's an obligation behind it. I
So
don't
yeah,
like
so
that. I don't like feeling obligated to have to get the chocolate hearts and the edible arrangements, and I don't like feeling obligated to do that when all the time, you know what I'm saying, I randomly just come home with flowers for the wifey just because it's a Sunday. Fuck, I went outside to go grab some milk because we was out of milk, and hell, I saw these flowers. I walked by and grabbed them just because.
I mean, with all due honesty, the way that I look at it and the way that I feel about it, per se, is the fact that you have an obligation at this point in time to really look at and assess your relationship and what dynamic your relationship has, and you should treat it accordingly. Because what you feel, I'm obligated to you 365 days, 7 days a week. I don't get days off of my obligation to you as a significant other.
That
So for
part.
me, so for me to look at specific days on the calendar as if they matter, I don't want to set that precedence in my household from the get go. And that's something that I would probably want for my significant other to also share in that feeling. But if you don't share in that feeling, fine. I can bite a little bit. I can be a little flexible every once in a while, but it doesn't particularly mean anything to me. So for anybody who wants to know, it's like Valentine's Day, it means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me. You can give me all the history, all the rhetoric. Well, St. Valentine was a real person. He did this, he did that. He was a personal servant for the Lord. You can tell me anything that you want to tell me, but what does that have to do with me going outside to go and spend money to exercise my love for my woman? The date does not matter. The effort does. Whether it is on a specific or whether it's on a date doesn't matter. Well, that's what we've been saying pretty much since we started. Is that
Right.
this is not a bash Valentine's Day thought process, but this is a reminder that Valentine's Day is also February 15th, as is February 13th, as is March 3rd, as is April 16th. It's the same no matter how you slice the bread if you're truly committed to something. One thing that I think that we get caught off into is the feeling or the need to keep up superficial appearances. That moment that we get to post the Facebook picture, she went to Jared. Like, that moment that we get to create.
Yeah, he went to Jared. Yeah, she said yes.
Yeah, so it's that moment sometimes that endorphin hit of he cared for me today. And mind you, I say he because the sale is not catered toward women on behalf of men. Although some relationships, dynamics, however they see it is what it is, overwhelmingly a day of where a man is supposed to show his undying love and commitment to the woman in his life. Well, in that instance, what's wrong with it September 1st?
Yeah, I mean, what about this as well? Outside of showing up with the chocolates and the horse and carriage, we going through the city and all that, and I got an airplane flying through the sky using the smoke to spell out "I love you" with your name, and I mean, to your point, why what's wrong with a September 1st? What's wrong with October 1st? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm also looking at it from a scale of is buying you a car. I bought you a car. Is that not a sign of me showing you my unwavering, my undying love for you? Uh, a house to make sure that you are able to lay in the utmost comfortability possible in an area that is I try to put you in an area as safe as possible. I'm not just saying just me. I'm just speaking in general
Yeah.
terms. You know what I'm saying? Like to what magnitude do you know what I'm saying? Because every single year it it almost and it may be for some guys. We got a top last year. Okay, last year I got her the G Wagon. This year I'm gonna get her the Fisker. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It just seems like it's a never ending story for real.
Well, you gotta, but think about it along these lines. That is not necessarily about the gesture, more or less than it's about what have you done for me lately. It's to keep this consumer mindset that I have to do something today. Like I'm in that 30-year mortgage for 30 years, and you benefit from it every single day. Like I'm in that car note for 5, 6 years, whatever the term may be, into that lease for maybe 3 years before you upgrade and renew, whatever the circumstances may be. The things that we do as men who are committed to women is generally in the benefit for the woman, for the children, for it's in the benefit for what's going to uplift and give you a better statistical opportunity for survival, right?
Correct.
So the question begs is that when you start thinking about these momentary gestures and stuff, this, I guess, just because I care. And I beg anybody that's listening, ask yourself, does a gift mean more because I thought about it on the same day that everybody else was obligated to think about it? Or does it matter more to just wake up one day and it's like, just because. Here's a card. I just
Let me
I
just
just
chime in
felt
on you, Mike. Let me say you're exactly right. I've told my kids this from day one. Every day is Christmas. Every day is Christmas. Don't think the 25th is just Christmas. Every day is Christmas because y'all get blessed every day for what I do for y'all. For what y'all bring to me and for what I bring to y'all, every day is Christmas back and forth. So as far as just trigonometry, that they got us all computerized and all of we got to go out and spend money. We just spent money on the Super Bowl. Now we got to go spend money on the 14th of February. Now what?
St. Patrick's Day is
Yeah,
next.
St. Patrick's Day. Then we gonna wait a month. Then we gonna go do the Easter thing. Okay, cool. After that, we gonna wait and do it all again, and all this. You know what I mean, man? All that trigonometry. You know what I'm saying?
Trigonometry.
That's
Well,
what it is.
check out this.
Trick.
Check out this comment that was left because I think this is
Trigonometry.
actually a really good comment. Say exactly the people that put no. Say true women don't want things; they want effort. They want you to show you still have the strength to care and put it into that relationship.
Yeah, I get that, and that's fine too. But at the same time, they feed into the trigonometry. If they tricked up, then they trying to trick you up, and then you fall into the trick because you trying to be tricked, because you trying to just get a little piece of this, that, and the third, blah, 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 and everybody's tricked up.
You know what, Mike? I'm kind of on the fence about that because I kind of feel like that the efforts that do go in, and because maybe she's grown accustomed to you doing that, or like cooking dinner.
Yeah,
Is it cooking dinner for you a sign of showing you my
affirmation.
my effort? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm trying to feed you. I
Well,
want you
think about it.
comfortable. I want you full. You know what I'm saying? And
it's
and,
like
and
how
I
they.
kind of feel like stuff like that just kind of gets overlooked because that's it's no longer, I guess, exciting or anything like that, or it's common. Like it's just
Well,
that's just
that,
Jones. That's
what
you,
what I was gonna say was that to your point, and I think kind of to hers, I think it's more so along the lines of the creativity of thought. Now, again, this is assuming that you're not dealing with somebody that's superficial.
mhm, right.
This is assuming that you're dealing with somebody who is just solely based off of the effort. You see, the one thing is like when I explain to
Sorry about
women,
that.
it's all good. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a cat jump in my lap at some moment. What happens is that you get to a certain place, right? And in getting to that place, you come to the realization that you are trying to show your woman or show your significant other, like just for the sake of conversation, you're showing your significant other that you have a particular desire to show them your unwavering gratitude for who they are, what they are, why they are, and you are taking an unconventional approach towards showing them that. So you got to think about it. We don't go out to dinner every day of the week, thus making that an unconventional thing. But if every time that we do go out to dinner, I'm taking you to White Castle, well, how much thought did you put into that? So I think like sometimes it's just the diversity of thought when you're dealing with people who are not superficial. And like I try to explain to women a lot of times the fact that how we receive love or how we receive gestures of affection are different. You know, my gesture of affection might be, "Hey, I know that you got a long day or work today, you might not be home until late. So last night while you were asleep, I got up and I started meal prepping for you. And here go some snacks for the day. Here goes something for you to eat to get your energy up. I got this many bottles of water. I got it all strategically placed in your cooler. I got a little bit of extra just in case this ain't enough. And here go everything to get you out of the door so you ain't got to spend money in the street."
Boom, boom. That's
So
simple. That's
yeah,
simple.
but
That
see,
will make a man's heart melt.
she's like, "Woo,
Simple.
just take my wallet. Yeah, just take it." That's the only
It
Yeah.
depends on that man.
Do
Because
you
I've
know
been
how,
picking this bitch
bruh?
up.
That is so simple. Here goes some snacks. I made you a couple sandwiches. Woo, woo. You ain't got to spend no money. I put an extra couple water bottles in there. I even put the little stirring up singles or shake them up single things. Pour it in your water. Shake it up. Boom. You got your little some. Simple stuff like that
That's that
goes a
trigonometry.
long way as gestures for a
That's that
man, dog.
trigonometry, Mike. You hear me, Phil Jones, Mike Jones? That's that trigonometry. bitches up to something.
All right, enough of
No,
that
no,
foolishness.
no,
Now,
no, no,
enough.
no.
Hey, look, man, the voice in the background talking reckless now. I'm joking. Say, no, I say already done. Waters, lunches, etc. Already done the night before every night. It's nothing to put that effort in the night before. Now, see,
Right.
Ashley, I want you to think about this, right? I want you to think and wrap your mind around this point that I'm trying to make. We live in a society. Well, I didn't say a society. I would say this is probably the world over. That once it becomes a repetitive pattern of thought, at that point in time, it becomes monotonous.
That's what I
And I
just said.
well, I'm trying to get this to her based on what she's saying. So,
Okay.
with what she does every night, like in the postal service, we got this saying that today's favor is tomorrow's job. That when you go above and beyond, and people know you to be somebody to go above and beyond, they tend to lean on you to continue to do that thing that you do. And then when you don't want to do it, then you kind of get looked at crazy because you always do it. You always available. And it's kind of a nuisance. Or there's the other one that says that my reward for hard work is to do somebody else's work.
So somebody else for it.
Now, the thing about it is that we inadvertently don't realize that it's not necessarily taking things for granted because it's not like we don't appreciate it. It's just that it becomes regular.
That
Sometimes you
part.
don't realize how important that gesture is until you're in a position where either A, you have to go without, or until you have went without for so long that once you see somebody who is already built to do that, or somebody who maybe was not programmed or built to do that, that start to get involved in doing that. That's where the effort comes in. But at the same time, it's like we're going to always have more desires. We're going to always want more than what we have, or want different than what we have. It has very little. It has very little to do with the appreciation, more so than it has something to do with the fact that we're just unsatisfiable as human beings. You can't give me chicken 365 days a year and say, well, I gave you chicken marsala the other day, and then I gave you chicken parmesan the other day because the add-ons was different. It's still chicken.
Yeah, I ain't with that. I ain't with that, dog. Me and Big Bird gonna have to duke it out.
Say when
Straight up.
say when things become familiar, you don't realize it's a thing gifted, and we
Boom.
do it. We, and that's one of the fatal. You just literally explained the plight that a lot of good, and I use the word good in air quotes, men, this is their argument. This is one of the biggest arguments is the fact that to go out and to purchase homes, to go out and provide a life, to go out and do things, to go and do difficult tasks and create a nest egg and finances and insurance and everything else to ensure the safety and security of his family. That is an obligation that he is supposed to do. And oftentimes, the respect that we get on the back end for what it is that we do every day is, well, you're supposed to do it. That's what you're supposed to. That's your job. You're a man. You should be doing that. And every once in a
Right.
while, it's like, okay, well, we'll appreciate a gesture of, man, you're doing an outstanding job holding it down for us.
That's all it takes. That's all. You could just say that.
It's,
Just say that.
it's just a mere acknowledgement of, I know what you do is difficult, but I thank you for getting up and doing it every day and never about what you have to do. And I want to encourage you to keep up the good work. I know that you directly benefited from everything that it is I do, but just the mere appreciation of that fact. And it happens on both sides. It's a reciprocal nature on both ends of the spectrum. So you're supposed to, but your partner should be right there behind you saying, thank you. I'm so proud of your efforts.
Yes,
You don't think so?
your partner, your significant other, the person that you are in love with and building a foundation with and family with, they are supposed to be your number one cheerleader. They supposed to be right there. They ain't got to do all the spin, flip kicks and twirling and pumping. They ain't got to do all that. But just right there, just whether it be just rubbing your back or you know what, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I knew you was dog tired and you still went out there and did that. I appreciate that.
You know, and it's just the gesture. So tying that back into the subject matter of the day is like the concept of the Valentine's Day versus the mere acknowledgement of how you make me feel. That anything that I do extra is a marker of how I feel about you or how you have impacted me in a positive light. So where it is that preparation of my lunch and everything like that may be mundane and monotonous, well, guess what? When I get that promotion, guess who I'm coming to celebrate with? I'm not calling the guys. When I tell you, hey, I just got that new
Exactly.
job. When I tell you, hey, I just got that promotion, we're gonna make another 30, 40 grand a year, or hey, I just landed that contract, or hey, I just got put in such and such situations about to elevate our life and take us to another financial level. Go put on something nice. Go buy a new outfit. We're going out to go celebrate. That's what we're thinking about along the lines is the fact that it has nothing to do with an obligatory day or time of the year as it is for us. It's more so milestones. It's
You
things
know
that
what?
we.
And you touched on something else too, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
no. Go
But
ahead. Go
real quick, but you touched on something else about the promotion and accolades and things of that nature, and how we bring that home, and it's not I got a promotion, it's we got a promotion, we got the promotion, and I that is like a really great way that I feel that you know what I'm saying for her to feel a part of you and the relationship, and she's in it with you or anything like that. That we word, that's a
we
very
celebrate
powerful,
wins.
strong word. We
Yeah,
celebrating together.
we're celebrating the wins together. When I win in my endeavors, first thing I'm doing is bringing it home to celebrate with the people that had my back. And that's the ones that's inside of my four walls.
Yep.
So I think that a lot of times, too, that's something that women don't necessarily always either understand or appreciate about how men work is the fact that we are constantly trying to accomplish things. And when we accomplish things, when well, it could be something as small as getting over something that is bringing us pain or moving on from an adverse situation, or it could be something as big as financial increases, or being able to say, hey, we finally hit that mark to where we got our 20% down for that new home. We finally reached a milestone of such to where we finally are able to transition from where we are, from being renters to being homeowners. We want to celebrate that win with the people that helped us in whatever way possible, even if it was just there's nothing that you can do, just be there, throw a couple words of encouragement my way, and I'll get it done. We want to celebrate with you. We want to rock with you. We want to give every aspect of every win that we have, we want to give it back to that central base. And Valentine's Day or Christmas Day or any of that other stuff cannot signify the love and admiration that we get when we win and when we come to celebrate those wins with the people who have supported us throughout our journeys, I should say.
That's it.
So,
So So tune in next time for the Short Men Show. But I mean, you are absolutely right, Mike. Absolutely right.
It comes with the
Most
grays and the bald head. No, what we got here say men, true men, the ones that take care of their homes, they are consumed with what is going to do us better, what is going to put us in a place to be better in all ways. My man is always thinking of us, always making sure we're good.
And I want you to understand something too. Is that Ashley that wrote that?
Yes,
Is it
Ashley.
okay? It's small on my screen, but I want you to understand something too, Ashley. With that being said, because that was well spoken, that is a real true thought that we deal with every single day. Every single day. If we wake up in the middle of the night because we want to grab a quick snack, it is right there in the forefront. And that gets exhausting. Constantly thinking about what my next move gonna be, what my next dollar coming from, how we gonna afford, how can we afford this? Daughter need new braces, yada yada dot dot dot. The list goes on, and that simple. I appreciate it. Go. You could just say something corny as go get them, Tiger. You know, be playful, but man, just something like that, man. That is the biggest boost.
You know, a lot of times we don't realize how simple it is to just say thank you. And at the end of the day, no matter whether it's a holiday or no matter what the time is, if I buy you something for your birthday, I'm celebrating a milestone with you. But I'm celebrating it with you and I'm saying thank you for spending another solar return with me. New Year's, Christmas Day. It's like every time that these things come back around the calendar, in my mind, these days are just markers to say we made it through another one. We made it through another one. We have survived another one through all the years of ups and downs, whatever the circumstance may have been, through children, through the fights, through the arguing, through the misunderstandings, through the good and the bad. We've made it to see another one. And that's what the thanks and the gratitude comes from, is because of the fact that no matter what it was that we experienced, we survived it together. And in surviving together, one of the most important things were that we found a way to create a bridge that connects this version of me today and this version of you today. And the consistency of us building those bridges along the line is what we're celebrating on a consistent basis. So, again, I don't think that a specific holiday dictates I have to go outside and go spend money. I have to go outside and go and buy a card, or I have to go down the aisle of Walmart or go find the cards with the hallmark on it, or it plays the music and stuff like that. I don't see the significance of needing to do that on a specific day, knowing that I'm spending my life with you. Whether we're dating, whether we're married, I'm spending a undisclosed duration of time with you. I should be celebrating whatever time that I'm allowed to be spending with you for the things that you put into me and for the things that I'm trying to be reciprocous of, or reciprocities rather. Say again, doesn't matter the holiday or the date, it's the effort.
And and again, Mike, you know, saying we put that disclaimer out there. Want to make sure that it's heard again. Is that there's no smite or anything against the holidays. We're not gonna negate the fact that holidays does bring family and friends together, bring all your loved ones together. You're building more memories and things of that nature. That's that part is what we're not talking about that part. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you into, by all means, celebrate. You know what I'm saying? You do what you're gonna do and build the memories that you want to build with your loved ones and your friends and things of that nature. But I do think that that whole like obligation aspect of it, to me, I kind of feel like kind of more like that whole puppy love level where you are in that courting stage. Y'all got some time in. This ain't nothing you're gonna do right away, but you got some time in, and you're doing the uh trying to impress and things of that nature. I can see the maybe going a little bit of extravagant for these particular type of holidays, things of that nature. I can see it being for that level. But when you got time in, you start to develop the man. Every day is Valentine's Day. Every day is Mother's Day.
I I
Every day is Father's Day.
I disagree with that, but I disagree with that in a very mild sense.
Okay.
Because I think that one of the fatal flaws of men is the fact that we have to start understanding that what you walk in the door with is where you set the expectation. So if you start off by being extravagant and doing these things, and then you start laxing off, well, you're selling her something that's completely different than what you actually stand for. And that's not okay. And a lot of us don't realize that that behavioral trait is not okay. And in the flip side of that, when you're dealing with women that they set a certain standard of being this type of fun and this type of active and this type of involved or this type of whatever have you, and then they started to tailor off as the relationship gets more comfortable, people have to find some level of balance to where you don't come in the door feeling like you have to be something that you don't intend to maintain.
What
For
you
instance, hold
saying
on, hold on,
sounds
hold on,
good.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Just real quick. You know
Okay.
that example of the girl that is overweight and the man doesn't want to be with her anymore because she's not taking care of herself.
Yeah.
Then she breaks up, or he breaks up with her. And then all of a sudden she gets in the gym, goes back to school, get herself all ready and all right. And she does it out of spite for the man when she could have still had the man if she would have just did it in the first place.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm going with that. Is the fact that you will go into a new relationship trying to pull out all the bells and whistles, but you probably could have maintained that relationship if you would have stayed consistent.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
That was again that was my
Yeah, for
point. It
sure.
wasn't yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. And that goes kind of what I was gonna say is that I get what you're saying about coming in extravagant. That's why I said you're not gonna do this right away. You're gonna have some time in before you start doing all that. But over time, it will diminish. You know what I'm saying? The sex 7 days a week, it's gonna start slowly cutting back to six. Then start slowly cutting back to five. Then slow, you know what I'm saying? Like over time,
Who's getting 7 days a week?
I'm just using it as an example, sir.
I'm about to say, I'm like,
it's
dog.
just it's just an example, sir.
I'm like,
Like
woo!
I don't even think your muscles will let you do that. But
Sheesh.
but over time it is going to diminish, and these so-called saying exquisite and extravagant things that we once did or whatever, it is going to start to just be regular, or you know what, man, we can just chill and just watch it, you know what I'm saying, a movie or something. The new Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is out. Let's just chill and watch that on Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna calm down over time, and that is inevitable.
Well, I think that's also a mutually understood factor. I think that's something that we get to that place together. It's not the fact that I over time decide to give you less. than the effort that I gave you
No,
before.
if you're deciding to do that, like purpose, if you're purposely
Yeah,
doing that,
yeah,
that's
that's
a
along
whole
the lines of
different scenario. You
yeah,
need to bail out of that relationship. That's bogus.
yeah, and because there'll be times to where it's like,
You dirty for that.
because there'll be times to where it's like, hey, let's have date night, and you got it all planned out in your mind and stuff, and you giving her the rundown. Say, you know what? They just released such and such little romance, like these different rom coms on Netflix or on Hulu, or whatever. These brand new independent joints. You know what? I really would just like to do that. Why don't you go grab a bottle of wine? I'll go ahead and hook up a little dinner for two and stuff. Get the candles and the feng shui in the room or whatever, and we'll just stay here. See,
But you
it's
change the
a product.
plans.
But what I'm saying is that she may introduce that let's just Netflix and chill instead of you doing that. So you may introduce something to say, hey, this is what my plan was along the lines of where my standard is, I should say. And you know, my standard thing is we're gonna go to the steakhouse, we're gonna go to the hibachi grill, we're gonna go do XYZ because I'm always thinking along the lines of the stuff that I do because that's what I do. I
Right,
go
right,
out and
right, right.
extravagant. Right. I go out and extravagant. And she turn around and she say to you, you know, we ain't got to do that. Like, really, I had a long day. I'm kind of tired. I don't really want to be
What?
out in the street.
Yes, yes, yes. We, I ain't got to spend no money, mate.
So she might tell you,
What?
hey,
Yes.
instead of you going to, like, on your way home from work, just stop and go grab the emergency bottle of
I
wine
will
someplace.
I will turn into a rom com man that instant. What? We we gonna watch all 14 of these right now. I ain't gotta spend no
You
money.
know, so again, it's like it's those type of things that evolve over time. It's not because of the fact that it's like, well, now that I've got time invested in, that I start getting lackadaisical with my effort. Going back to what Ashley was saying earlier, is that the effort of maintaining and exceeding the standard that you set when you went and sought her out is a lot different than what it is that we did when we start to make plans together to do things different than what we normally would do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So my maintenance and how I do things should not stray away from the standard that I set for you. And if I don't intend on maintaining those things, I don't introduce those things in the first place.
Yeah, and I, you're just not gonna get far with that.
I mean,
Just saying.
you'll be surprised because, like, again, it's like that's a lot of people's mating strategy is that I pull out all. And again, it's like when you meet somebody and women, I'm about to snitch a little bit, you know, because men, we ain't on code to save our lives, so I'm gonna snitch a little bit. Depending on how a man sees you, or depending on how a man values you upon meeting you, is going to determine where he takes you for that first date. So if I see you and the vibe that you give me and the vibe that we have says, Ruth Chris, that's what I'm taking you. If I see you and the vibe that you give me says Red Lobster, that's why I'm taking you. If I see you and the vibe say living room couch, bag of popcorn, home cooked meal, TV, that's why I'm taking you.
That's real intimate.
What I'm saying is
I'm just saying that's
where
nice.
where a man goes into his creative bag and his mating strategy upon first courting you is predicated off of where he sees you. He ultimately is not going to go bigger than that. So if a man does not, if I see a woman that I feel like she deserves me to pull out all the stops, and I'm not financially in position to do that, and I'm a stand-up guy, that's going to be a deterrent of me getting in a relationship with her. Why? Because I can't provide the life that I would like to, or I can't provide the life that I would like to maintain for this person and how this person makes me feel, which ultimately will make me work harder for the next go round, but it's not going to result in me taking this person to White Castle. So if he's taking you to White Castle or Crystal Burger or anything like that, take you to McDonald's or something like that, that's what he sees. That's what you give him.
Mm. That's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of ladies. I
The whole
promise you, they
thing,
probably never really thought about it like that. They never thought about it like that.
the
We
effort,
know that.
well, again, it's like that's why I'm letting the cat out the bag. That the initial effort and then the response to
Yeah.
that initial effort should not be I deserve better, but it should be more so of what vibe do I give off that makes it appear that this is where my plateau is. And I'm gonna give you another nugget, and my little Valentine's Day gift to all of my ladies out there. Your level is predicated on the average of who comes to you. That one outlier situation where somebody who was just larger than life that could show you the world, that did everything under the sun, you may get one of those in a lifetime, unless that's where your overall standard is. But if your average is a loser, you got to ask yourself, what about me attracts losers?
Yeah, that's your lane.
If you don't like that aspect of yourself, then you got to figure out what part that is. So if I only attracted baby mamas with bad attitudes and fake hair and urban colloquialisms or slang and ghetto, if that's what I attracted by and large, and that was what I seem to continue to run into, that's indicative of me, not indicative of what's available. So when people say, where are all the good men at?
Mm-hmm.
You're not attracting them. You're attracting trash. So if you feel that the things that you are attracting are trash, the question is, trash attracts flies. So what am I doing that's attracting these flies? Yeah, you're right. You attract what you project. And a lot of us don't want to believe that. Like a lot of us want to believe that we are that we should be punching above our weight class, that we should always be thinking about getting something better than what we put out. I should be able to get even if I don't give. And I'm big on reciprocity. What you put in is what you get out, to reap what you sow, however you use that terminology. And I'll
Right.
tell a woman in a heartbeat that if quality men will have conversations with you, but they won't take you serious, or they'll come and smack you behind a little bit every once in a blue moon, but they won't commit to you, is because you may have the physical appeal, but you may spew a lot of negativity that prevents a man from wanting to seal the deal with you beyond just getting you in a bedroom. You may carry around a lot of baggage that's like, I don't particularly want to, so I don't want to submit or commit to that, but I'll ride the ride until the ride is no longer available, and then I'm on to the next thing.
And that's it. So since we on that topic, you know what I'm saying, and you did kind of touch on a few things, but you know what I'm saying, since we letting the cat out the bag, especially with especially, and I guess the question that I'm about to ask is predicated on if I see you as crystals and White Castle, that's what it is. Like, so when you speak about vibe, you know what I'm saying, and let's go ahead and help, you know what I'm saying, ladies out in that department, what would you signify as her giving off that specific type of vibe for her being treated as you're the you're the Taco Bell girl, you're the Red Lobster girl, you're the, you know what I'm saying, invite over to my domicile, light the candles. I bring out the good tablecloth. I bring out the real silverware. You know what I'm saying? Like what puts the woman in that position, or what vibes is she giving off and not giving off for her to be classified as that, or to be put in that category?
I think that question is a little difficult to answer. It might be man for man specific,
I kind of
but
figured it was.
but I will touch on that a little bit. And it's like I would say for me particularly, um, number one, it depends on where a man is in his mating strategy. Because if I'm looking for a wife, all Taco Bell, McDonald's girls are completely excluded. I'm not even approaching them. I'm not talking. I don't even want to be in the vicinity. I don't want to go to the places to where they hang out. I don't want to be around. I don't want to engage in conversations with them. I don't want to do anything that will make me an attractive option to them.
Right, right. But what I'm getting at is
Hmm.
what what would get us, what gets us to see them as the Taco girl, the White
That-
Castle girl,
That's
the, you know
that's
what I'm saying,
that's that's it's
the
too much meat
Euro
on that bone.
Express at 2 a.m.
That,
girl.
that's too much meat on the bone. I couldn't possibly answer that in the amount of time. Like that's literally like that's literally like 100-page book. It takes so much deep thought because you have to tap into yourself to look at your dating experiences to ask yourself why was this girl suitable to put a ring on and what was it about this one. I think a lot of it though boils down to attitude because women look good. Like I don't care what you do. There's some dude out there that he love him some big girls. There's some dude that he love him certain types of women. The natural hair guy, the guy who likes the makeup and the hair weaving like her dolled up. So there's the shoe fetish guy that like her in nice shoes and stuff like that. Like there's
Hmm.
all types of different things. Like sometimes it could be her taste in certain music or art and
That's a
culture
big one.
that
I ain't gonna
makes
lie
me,
to you, dog. That's a big one.
like I would tell guys that one of the most impactful vetting strategies that I would give to any young man is find out what's on her playlist. What does she consume? What sites does she frequent? Where does she get her information from? It's like in a day and age like now, there's so many different levels to where we can break things apart. So I might encourage a young man to say, hey, when I'm talking to a young lady or trying to court a young lady, hey, you in the podcast? Who do you partake? If I hear you tell me that you partake in the man hater stuff, I have to choose at that point in time. Do I want to go further and ask more questions? If you say, okay, well, I get my my top 5 websites, World Star Hip Hop, Boss Up, the gossip websites or whatever, or the gossip YouTube channel. Like if that's where you get your daily information from, we might not be compatible. Because if I turn around and I tell you I get my information from Money Magazine, CNBC, uh, Entrepreneur Magazine, if my mind is geared toward this, like what's your favorite TV show? Your favorite TV show might be uh, something on VH1 or Bravo or something like that, Bad Girls or whatever equivalent to that Real Housewives, like that might be your lane. But somebody like me, if I turn around and tell you American Greed is my favorite type of show, we may not be compatible. So I mean, there's small nuances that you could look into to find out if we consume the same type of do we consume the same type of stuff? Are we into things to where we can actually have an intellectual conversation about something? Do I deem it worth me pursuing? But because of the fact that we as men are visual creatures, we always gonna go for what it looked like first, and then we're gonna chip away at everything else. But a lot of times we be too far in already. So that conversation is difficult. It's very difficult to have that conversation. That
No,
literally
I think just that right there alone was a nice piece of meat that a lot of ladies can work with as far as like really starting to understand and to see things differently from a different perspective. I think it helps. I, it was a good answer. I think it
well, I
helps,
was
and I think that the ladies can learn something from that.
well, I would definitely say one last piece before we close out is that for ladies who are looking to date or looking to expand their dating options or looking to pursue marriage and really build with a man for the next level, um, very important question is what is your ideal man into? What is he consuming? What is he involved in? And place yourself in positions to where the things that he is invested in, the things that he is involved in, the things that he is interested in, you can always research these things. You can always find out what he's involved in. So if you know that the guy that you into is somebody that's highly into working out, gym, there's no better way than to learn what this culture is. If you're into somebody that's highly into business and motivation and constantly building and growing, learn a little bit about what type of industry he's in or a little bit about what they do. Like take some level of interest in the things that interest the man that you're trying to attract.
I think that's a real good piece right there because that right there, especially if you have a significant other, that right there is a great way to show appreciation and a thanks to them by getting involved with what they're into and to learn a little bit about what they into and holding conversations. You know what I'm saying? If you know that your guy's into computers, well, why don't you look something up about computers and talk about it?
And you'll be
And,
surprised that you might be able to put him on to some information and or give him a perspective about something that he didn't consider first that's going to actually help him to expand further into that thing that he does.
right.
Now, if he
Now,
into
Mike,
Dungeons and Dragons, leave that dude alone. There's no, you're not going anywhere with that.
but Mike, the same thing. Going back to the point with you, when you were just talking about the same thing when you do find that woman. Let's say she's into, I don't know, the Yu-Gi-Oh and all that good stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
You find out what I'm talking about is what I'm trying to get at is being unevenly yoked. When you find that out, then you should the same thing you said. You don't want that McDonald's chick. You don't want the Taco Bell chick. You want the chick that what I mean that cooks at the crib and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. And you're supposed to find that out before you actually get into a relationship. Period. Correct?
Well, the thing is the fact that again we're talking about mating strategy. So a lot of people's biggest flaws is that they are too quick to throw labels on people before they properly vet them.
Right. But I'm just saying, just being unevenly yoked. Like if I know this chick she's into, I don't know, let's uh,
Well, you was talking about a little bit of anime, so let's just go there.
Let's just keep going with
Let's
you.
just go there.
okay,
Then
Let's
let's just
go.
go there. She's in the Yu-Gi-Oh, but you like Inuyasha.
yeah.
Okay.
So see what I'm saying? Like as far as y'all being unevenly yoked, you shouldn't even put yourself in that situation to even get into a relationship with her because y'all gonna butt heads. You know
Well,
y'all not gonna see eye.
here's the thing. If we both are anime heads, we might meet in the middle somewhere because we're in the same lane.
Right,
If
right.
I despise anime,
That's where, yeah. That's where the
if
unevenly yoke comes in.
if
Yeah.
if you know that I play Xbox and that's
Right.
my decompression method, and you despise Xbox as a woman, and you don't ever want to see a man sitting on the TV playing what they consider to be a child's game. There's certain language and certain tone when you bring certain things up that will give you an indicator on how they feel about that particular activity.
Right, right,
So I'm
right.
not going to approach somebody who, when she tells me, like, yeah, I'm in the gym 4 or 5 times a day, and I'm not interested in being a part of that culture
True.
because I'm not going to walk around and be feeling secure around her and all of her friends who are extremely physically fit, and I'm walking around looking like Cheddar Bob. Like, it's an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the thing is the fact that they're going to look at you and it's like, how can you care for me and you won't even take care of yourself? You won't even take care of your own temple. How can you possibly love me and you don't even love you enough to take care of you? So the uneven yoking a lot of times is not predicated off of the external, but more so the internal, as far as somebody's values. It's like a Christian and a Muslim can be together if we can have a mutual respect for one another's understanding. Maybe you could teach me a little bit of Muhammad's philosophies, and I can teach you a little bit of this. It's usually misconceptions in how things are taught that prevent people from finding middle ground in certain respects. But as far as important things that I want to know is, do you want children if you don't already have any? If y'all have children from different relationships, do you want more children or have we already aged out of that aspect? Number two, if there's still children under 18 or little younger children or whatever, if I'm going to be an active participant in those children's lives, how do you want them raised? Let's have important conversations about strategy and structure and stuff. It's like you don't really, when you dating with the intention to be married, you ask different questions and you say different things. You just do things differently rather than just dating somebody. If I'm having a conversation with somebody and their favorite color come up, I'm out. Like, I am almost 40. I don't give a damn if you can even see colors. Like,
That's funny, dude. That's funny.
because realistically, is that at some point in time you have to really look at something and actually assess it appropriately. What matters to me? And it's like for gentlemen who are old, if you're over the age of 28, you have lived enough life to know what you like and don't like. Based on the amount of life that you have lived a quarter of a century or more. You should not be going into potential dating situations asking dumbass questions. If having a home cooked meal matters, excuse me, man, I'm not gonna ask you, can you cook? I'm gonna ask you, what are some of your favorite dishes that you like to prepare?
Different question.
The quality of the answers that you receive are predicated on the quality of the questions that you ask.
Correct. Correct.
Ma'am, what is some of the what do your next 5 years look like? What do you mean? First and foremost, this is a red flag if you mean what do you mean, because that means that you're not forward thinking and that might not help. But on top of it, if she's too far into her own goals and her goals are different than, first off, you don't have a 5 year plan to discuss. You shouldn't even be there.
It's
You
10
shouldn't
year
even
for
be
me.
talking. You said what?
It's 10 year for me. If you if
What?
you if you cannot, if you don't have any type of idea or some type of goal in place moving towards something and you can't map out 10 years, that's a red flag for me. You need to be able to see that far and plan that far.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Results may vary. Insert.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure things
Yeah,
may
I mean,
come up, saying in between time, but to not. But if you're giving me that, that's just too far. I don't think I don't think that far.
well, what my point is that regardless of what your nuance is, you need to be coming into the potential situation with what that is in the forefront.
Correct.
I don't need to be wasting my time pussyfooting around because if my strategy or what's going on within the next several years of mine's regard me relocating to California, are you open to relocation? If the answer is no, nothing else to discuss. Thank you for your time. Because if my future endeavors, are you looking to build something with somebody in the sense of this is what you have in the works? Am I willing to be a part of that thing that you are building? Or am I more concerned about building my own thing? If you listen to her talking and she's not willing to talk in a sense of compromising to get on the program that you are creating, y'all gonna be like this the whole time. It's a waste of your time, and you generally know these things up front. And you will spend a lifetime trying to get her to change the way she is versus finding somebody, like for instance, like we really got to shut this down. I'm sorry, everybody. It's a good topic.
Yeah,
But
that's all right. I'm pretty sure
this
they're appreciative.
is my last one, the last one. You had that guy to where he'll, like, let's say he owns a body shop or something like that. Owns a body shop or a rec yard or something like that. And then when it comes time for the body work to get done, and you go into the office, and the woman that's sitting there at the reception desk or the accounts receivable is his wife. She may have went to school for HR management or went to school for accounting or something along those lines, and she's taking that thing to be a part of that company that is where the family income is coming from.
Boom.
So she doesn't feel like she has to go be Fortune 500 Francine. She's like, I can take this and I can build what we have to turn that into what it's supposed to be, rather than taking my stuff elsewhere to find validation or find fulfillment elsewhere. That's a mindset that you have to understand. Is she already understanding that she's willing to take her time and talent to build into a y'all thing, or she got her own plan? If she got her own plan that is completely external of anything that you can build into and guide, as a man, if you are willing to drop everything that you are doing to play into her plan, she will never respect you. I'm going to say it again. If you are a man that you are willing to drop everything that you have to play into her plan, she will never respect you. What do I mean by that? A man with a plan and a vision and goals have certain tick marks and certain things that have to happen in order for those things to actually work. In the event that you, as a man, will say, I will stop what it is that I'm doing and I will go over here to what it is that you're doing without actually achieving my milestones. It's different if, all right, babe, I'm going to finish up my master's and I'm going to go ahead into the workforce so you can start working. Then you can start doing your thing. And once you get your thing done, then we're going to bring our resources together and we're going to keep building up. If you will completely drop school To put her through it, she ain't gonna respect you. She ain't never gonna respect you.
No,
You can't
that's
lead.
definitely finna be a catastrophic situation
You can't
for
lead her
sure.
nowhere, and you too easy to waver.
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, you basically a come up for her, and she's gonna use you for as long as she needs you to build herself up until she's able to be in a position to fully sever, you know what I'm saying, the link that she has with you.
Now, in retrospect to that, women, stop giving your all to a man who's trying to build himself off of your resources and not commit to you. Stop putting your credit on the line. Stop putting your finances on the line. Stop doing this. Stop wifing men.
Stop wifing men.
Stop wifing men. What does that mean when a woman is wifing a man? Is when a man, when you are playing and dumping all your resources into a man with potential, and then as soon as he finally achieves something, if I tell you I gotta achieve this, and then once I achieve it, then we're gonna get married. 90% of the time he's going to leave you, because as soon as that door opens up, he's going to start seeing more options because those options were not available to him before he got there. You need a commitment before you do anything, and you got to hold him to the gun. You are only going to get respected for the value that you predicate. Yeah, you may have a lot of value because you're willing to do stuff, but you will get taken advantage of 110% of the time when you are dealing with men who are just with you because of the resources that you provide, and they bring nothing to the table. That if so then, men don't operate off if so then. You are a come up. There's no time to where if he's in the house with you, that he don't need to be working. Oh, well, I'm just gonna be working on my school, I'm gonna be working on my this, I'm gonna be working on my that. No, a man is not gonna appreciate nothing that he didn't have to contribute to himself. If he didn't have to build into that thing himself, he is never going to appreciate it. And if you do that for a man, that he ain't up working and he ain't busting his butt and he ain't majority, if not 51, 49% contributing to the fabric of that household, he gonna leave your ass.
Yep. At the glimpse of an opportunity, he gone.
Because them opportunities didn't exist before you put him on. Sad but true. Anyway, this is The Extraordinary Man, guys. Thank you so much for y'all time and talents today. It was a very, very, very long show, and we promise next time we're going to keep it up within an hour's time. We're going to at least try to, because y'all are so, so beautiful as people, and we love talking to y'all. This is your host, Phil Jones, Mike Jones, however you know me personally or professionally. Y'all know the man of the hour every hour, King Midas, Michael Merritt.
Don't forget to put the king in front of that. Let's go.
Although he forgets to do it every time he posts up his name. However, to make sure you guys tune in Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be taking a whole new topic. We're going to delve out of the relationship conversation. We're going to delve into something a little bit more spicy, like talking about why people are so piss poor with their money and the habits that they can immediately change that will change the trajectory of what they're doing with their money. Stay tuned for that. And if you guys have anything that y'all want to add, as always, find me on social media at Phil Jones on everything. King Midas, you can find him at Michael Merritt. You can find him King Midas. And if you guys got tech questions or anything of that nature, y'all can hit him up on his personal business at Nerdy Nerds with a Z.
With a Z.
Got any last minute words you want to contribute, sir?
Happy V-Day, y'all.
Peace.